ZNS Total Sports, brought to you by Fourth Terrace Diagnostic Center.
This is your first look at sports. I'm Jonathan Benson. The New Providence Volleyball Association's Best of 5 championships back on court yesterday at the Donald Davis Gym. Up first in ladies play, the Johnson Truckers were in a must-win against the Scottsdale Vixens, and they didn't get off to a good start, losing the first 2 sets. The Truckers would come back to take the 3rd set, but from there the Vixens dominated set 4 en route to their 10th straight league title. Set scores were 26-24, 25-12, 28-30, and 25-12. Charisse Bain led the way in the win with 18 kills. Her sister Christelle Roll had 5 blocks, while Camila Miller, she added 7 aces.
It was a tough one this year. They played well. It was a good match between Vixens and Truckers. You know, it always is a good match. And as we saw today, they lost their middle player in Nadrika, Shatia Markfi, that is, and they came in hard. The sets were close, but we were able to pull it off. You know, this will be the 10th one, 10 straight, trying to build a dynasty here. So hopefully they'll be back next year and try to dethrone us.
What championship is sweeter, this one or the 9 pass?
I think this one because it's double digits. And here it is now, we are creating a dynasty. We let them know that, hey, Vixens, ride for life, we don't play. You have to come and beat us, don't talk it. Got to come and bring your game and take this away from us.
Now in men's play yesterday, the defending champion Scotiabank Defenders also on the brink of elimination after losing 2 tough 5-setters to the Technicians. This time around, though, the Defenders finally finding the winning formula. They cut the Technicians series lead to 2-1 after a straight sets victory, 25-22, 25-14, and 25-20.
We were more focused because we had to make a lot of adjustments and come back and actually play our type volleyball. They're a great team. They got a jump on us, and we made some mental lapses, and unfortunately we ended up 2 games down.
The difference was the Defenders was far more consistent than we were. For some reason we played flat and we never raised our level to match theirs.
Now the Defenders and Technicians will take back to the court again at 8 o'clock on Wednesday night. At that time, the Technicians will have another chance to claim the championship. As for the Defenders, they'll be playing to force a winner-take-all match on Friday.
Definitely don't want this team to get us to a 5-game. The game plan is pretty much we got to take care of the ball when it's on our side. They give us opportunities, but we wasn't able to capitalize. So we can try and work on that and see if we can close this out in the next game.
We're not in a must win. We are in a will win, and we coming out to play. We're going to defend our championship, and we're going to do our best to win this thing. You know, we're not going to hold anything back because the pressure's on them to keep us out of it. There's no pressure on us. They're up. They are a very good team, like I say, but we're also a good team, and they better not forget that.
Well, BTC is looking to forge an ongoing relationship with the B3As in 2013. After dialing up some $175,000 and becoming the title sponsor for the Carifta Games, BTC Sales and Marketing Manager Marlon Johnson says they want to make an even bigger commitment towards Bahamian track and field.
We're seeking and working with the B3As for a multi-year agreement with them that we'll announce in due course. That will help support those activities like the World Games, like the Junior Championships, and the other activities for the B3As. We have presently a 4-year agreement with the Olympic Association that takes us through to 2016. And we hope to do something similar with the B3As. So, and what it does, it helps us in our planning, and it certainly helps them in their planning and forecasting as well. So yeah, the short answer is you will see us do more in support of that, but broader. In solidifying our relationships with these associations.
The Commonwealth American Football League playoffs taking place over the weekend at the Donald Davis playing field. Tonight, Julian Gibson tells us which teams booked their spot in the Boilfish Bowl Championship game on Sunday, February 24th.
Benson, it started on Saturday with the Pros spanking the Freeport Hurricanes. Sorry, Freeport, light tropical depression, 28-0. A complete whitewash.
It went smooth, you know, everyone was focused. It was just like practice, you know, just to stay in shape. But
What was that day?
No, it ain't that they was that day, they just wasn't organized.
Freeport's a good team, you know, they're still young, fairly new to coming back to the league, and they only had a few guys, but they did real good for playing Ironman football.
We were efficient. For the first time all year, we played an excellent defense. You can see we have a full complement of defensive linemen. We're very big up front. That basketball player, you know, Eugene Bain, has been our surprising player. You know, he's turned into a great defensive end. And the pressure we weren't getting for probably the last year and a half, we're getting it. You know, Mike Wilson is back in the line. Ian Simonette is home in the line. So we're getting the things we know we have. fortunately at the right time.
Now on Sunday, the V8 Fusion Stingrays earned a right to play the pros in the championship by beating the Jets 31-12.
It was a struggle getting into our groove. Once we got into our groove of playing the style of football that we play, which is we call it Stingrays football. That's the up-tempo, in-your-face style of playing. Once we get into that, we were taking a while because everybody was sort of hesitant, doing too much reading, we just said, listen, Ben, peel your ears back and let's go forward. Let's just play. And once we got into that and our running game started to work, it was all over.
It's not the game we came out to play, the game plan, but we got to it. Because it took us a few timeouts to get where we really wanted to get, you know what I mean? But the second half was what Stingrays football is all about.
Reporting for ZNS Total Sports, I am Julian Gibson.
All right, thanks a lot, Julian. Well, Team Bahamas finishing up play at the International Cricket Council's America's Division II tournament, a perfect 4-0, taking on Turks and Caicos in the finale on Saturday. Play was delayed an hour and 40 minutes due to a damp spot on the southern end of the ground at Haynes Oval. This meant the match would be reduced to 13 overs, and that was just fine with the home side. The Bahamas ended the day with 161 runs, and that was a bit too much for Turks to overcome, as they could only muster 106 runs. Leading the way for the Bahamas was Mark Taylor. He finished up with a 76 from 32 balls. That included 9 fours and 5 sixes. Player of the tournament and best batsman Jonathan Barry, he followed with a 53 from 28 balls. That was 6 fours and 3 sixes.
It was an all-round performance. We managed to put on 100 and some runs, which was way beyond their reach, and it was all-round performance within bowling, batting, and fielding.
There's only one word you could actually use for it: is execution. We had a plan from the beginning, and we executed properly. We had one man going up there, score 76, and the next one come with a half century. You can't ask for no more than that from your team. Then we had our bowlers come out and performed and did exactly what they were supposed to do.
Now, members of Team Bahamas also talked about why they were so dominant throughout the tournament.
In the previous months prior to this tournament, and we wanted to go further in our cricket, and the way to take it forward is to come here and demonstrate what we have, and showcase our talent, and we really took it to the oppositions and make best use of what we had.
We were prepared from about 6 months in advance, so plus we have a bit more experience than them in this format of the game, since we've been on a couple of international 2020s.
Before the tournament, coach sat everyone down. He gave everyone like a job to do, and everyone did their job properly. That resulted in the championship.
Now, as a result of winning the Division II tournament, the Bahamas will now move on to the Division I championship scheduled for next month in Fort Lauderdale. The level of play there is expected to be much tougher, but Team Bahamas has the confidence they will be able to secure a top 2 finish, which is needed to advance to the World Qualifiers.
We just need to tighten up a few kinks what we have in this tournament based on what we have seen, and those kinks, once we iron out those kinks, then we could look forward and go ahead in this tournament.
We just got to tweak some more, because in every activities we have some little shortcomings, so we just need to iron it out, and we should be all right.
We could fine-tune a bit on our more feeling aspect of it. We could work just a little bit more, because as we go higher in the level, you have a higher level of batting, higher level of bowling. But I figure we could use more on our feeling aspect, and we're good to go, ready to win it again.
Well, the countdown is on to the 2013 Carifta Track and Field Championships. That's set for Easter weekend right here in the capital. Over the years, these games have become one of the premier junior events in the world. And this time around, B3's boss Mike Sands is expecting a number of movers and shakers in the industry to be in attendance, including IAAF President Lamine Diak.
His declaration of these games being the best junior championships in the world is in no small measure to the fact that the vast majority of the top athletes from throughout the region, both past and present, are products of the Carifta Games, including Usain Bolt, who incidentally was given the nickname Lightning Bolt based on his performance by the Bahamians here at the last Games. The Carifta Games also saw the emergence of many of our very own athletes, including the Golden Girls and the Golden Knights, and Austin Silly Award winners such as Laverne Eve, Pauline Davis-Thompson, Debbie Ferguson, and most recently Antonique Strawn, among many others too numerous to mention at this time. Mr. Austin Seeley is the founder of the Games from Barbados, and he has also indicated his intentions to be here for these Games.
Now, the 2013 Games are slated to take place inside the new Thomas A. Robinson National Stadium, and according to head of the organizing committee, Basil Christie, everything is on target.
Everything is going very smoothly. There was a meet there last week, and we will be having a series of meets at the stadium, dry runs, testing. Over $500,000 has been spent on equipment, electronic equipment, starting equipment, finish links, implements for track and field, the hurdles, the javelins, and all that. And they're being tested. By the time Carifta comes around, the track, the surface will have been tested. All of the electronic equipment has been tested. All of the volunteers on board, our technicians.
Well, after staging all-star festivities over the weekend, the New Providence Women's Basketball Association is heading towards the end of its regular season schedule. President Simone Beneby spoke to our Julian Gibson about how the league's been going to this point.
Pretty good so far. We've had good fan support, and the competition, as promised, has been pretty stiff. The 4 top teams have pretty much edged their spot for the playoffs, so everything's been pretty good.
So the playoffs should be very exciting.
Looking for all games inside the playoffs this year to be pretty tightly contended.
Fan attendance, you really can't complain about fan attendance. Every night, basically, you got a good crowd.
Yes, I have to agree on that. We haven't had really a dip in crowd participation. I think tonight, if you look in the stands, will probably be the worst that we've had in a long time. But like I said, I really appreciate our fans. They've been really supporting us well.
What else are the league has on tap? You got the playoffs, but what else is happening?
But we have the player awards. We were supposed to hold them tonight, but unfortunately we couldn't. But right before the playoffs, our last regular season game, we're going to award our players best defender, top scorer, things of that nature, rookie of the year. We're going to give each of those players awards at the end of the regular season.
And finally in this segment, time continuing to tick down to the 4th annual Caribbean Law Enforcement Basketball Championships, those scheduled for next month at the Kendall Isaacs Gym. This year's event is expected to be the best yet, and organizers are pulling out all the stops to make sure they give fans all they want and more from start to finish.
Also, we involve the school in it, and we have the 3-point basketball competition along with the slam dunk competition. And we have what we call the East versus West in the private school and the government school. And so, we're looking forward to have a good tournament. Once again, we want to plead to the public to please come and support your law enforcement agencies, whether it's the police, the defense force, or the prison department.
And that will do it for sports. But don't go anywhere. There's more to come after the break.
This is ZNS.